Hi everybody, hope you're having a lovely week. So yeah, I've had another God nudge and something just popped into my head while I was bringing the horses in this morning. And I was like, oh goodness, okay. So it was one of those moments when you kind of start thinking a thought and you're like, shoot, I need a pen right now. So I did my nice little run, slow motion run to pen and paper and managed to jot it down just in time before I thought my next thought or my next 1001 thoughts. So what this one is about is just basically having a bit of an interesting conversation and let's just play around with language. So language has been very much on the forefront of the last week and a half, doing some really cool explorations with some brains and how they function, and especially with the dyslexic brain and how to get that kind of geared up and working for us. So I think this is all off the back of that. But what I would say is I'm going to share my words, but I would love for you to also play around with it and ping a load of words that you would use in the comments box afterwards. Okay, so if we take the word disability and we use each individual letter as kind of a topic, then D for me would be how a disability defines someone. It can be empowering or it can be disempowering. It's not necessarily what the label is, but how that person then chooses to use that new knowledge and understanding to define themselves. This is where we see a lot of the glass ceiling effect of people can either see beyond what has been told them or they get blocked by that definition. So D is them understanding and exploring how they are going to define themselves, whether it's by the set criteria or whether it is beyond that criteria. I is for intelligence. They will have to become so intelligent, not only cognitively, they will have to become emotionally more intelligent, socially more intelligent, soulfully, spiritually more intelligent. So they are going to be pushed beyond the norm of intelligence, and they are going to have to grow up in some ways quicker than others, and they are going to have more intelligence when they are interacting with each other. So that intelligence can't just be defined by the exams, by the education system. That education intelligence will be so broad but so enriched. S is for strength. They are going to not fit in boxes. And even the boxes that are meant for them, they're probably not going to fit into because of generalization, and everyone is unique. So they are going to have to find their inner strength. They are going to have to find their support network strength. And through this strength, they are going to become resilient. They are going to become able to navigate problems, because we can't eradicate problems. We can't make life sterile so that it's just the perfect circumstances all the time for a person with a disability, which means they are going to have to be adaptable within their strength. But to have that inner strength to hold them during the storm, anchor them like a tree anchored with their strong roots, will serve them so well. A is for their abilities. Now, even if you have a disability, you have abilities. Even though my brain has concepts of dyslexia, it has so many abilities because of that, which I don't actually want to lose. So you have to from that defining yourself, you redefine what your abilities are and learn them, and then be able to advocate them and communicate them with others. So there will be a general understanding of the disability, but not what that disability means to you. So the person has to be able to say, well, this is what I am able to do. So I can lean into my strengths, but I will then also need other people to help me, support me with my weaknesses. And actually, if there is somebody's weaknesses who is someone else's strength, so you start to see how it all interlocks really, really beautifully, and that's where the collaboration comes in. B is for balance. They have to learn how to balance themselves. They have to learn how to be grounded, how to be present, how to be in the experience without avoiding the experience, without people appeasing them just to get through the experience. They have to find their own inner balance and the tools they want to use in order to maintain that balance and be able to rejoin back in that balance. Experiences are going to make them unbalanced, and they have to have that inability to bring themselves back to balance. I is for inclusion. They are to find inclusion with their people. They have to find their set of people in which they thrive. Now, the beauty of it is, it doesn't have to be, within their neurotype. It can be a diversification of neurotypes coming together, but there is a general inclusion of all within that. And that might be with neurotypical, it might be with neurodivergent, but the difference is they have to find their people, which will be their own journey, not one we say, this is which group you should feel comfortable in. Love. Love is really crucial. Love is such a great, powerful tool. It's not only a tool, it's a great emotion. It is an emotion that fills our bodies with oxytocin and all juicy, lovely chemicals. So for them to love not only others, which is really important, should show others expressions of love. They need to feel loved, and that means that they have to be able to accept love from others, which then ultimately begins with them loving themselves. So that is a whole journey within themselves, for them. But that journey of being a beacon of love to others and to themselves will help them be able to maintain their strength and all the other different characteristics along their journey. I is for improvement. They are going to improve us all. They are going to improve society. They are going to ask us new questions that we never thought of. They are going to challenge us in ways we never thought of. They are meant to help us evolve and improve ourselves as human beings. So we are to embrace and allow that improvement and realize the changes that they are orchestrating and asking us to do, maybe as a family network, maybe as a social network, is a positive, and to help take a step back and see why their improvement they're asking us to do is a positive and help facilitate that. T is for trust. A lot of times I see trust is one of the first things that is lost, but it's something that needs to be held onto and maintained. They need to trust themselves. They need to trust others. They need to trust adults. Adults need to trust other adults. We are getting too distrustful between people, and it is making us very isolated. It is making people very lonely, and it is making people very stressed, because you can't do this job alone. We all have to have help from other people, which means that we have to trust people, and we have to trust that they have a level of integrity and a level of kindness, a level of love and generosity, and are trying to do their best. We are humans, we are not robots, we are not going to do it perfect, but we will try our hardest to be our best versions of ourselves. And we need to, if you have faith, then you trust in something higher, will not take away the storms, but be there with you whilst you walk through them. And then finally, why is you are the captain of your own ship. That means a person has to realize and take responsibility for their life and their choices and the consequences of those choices. So we can't, we want to protect, we want to keep people safe, but also ultimately they have to find that ability to become the captain of their destiny, captain of their own ship, and start to make choices that align with all the other different things I have just described. So that was this morning's brainwave. It's quite early. I've only had 1 cup of coffee, so I'm pretty impressed with this morning. So that might be all my brain capacity used up for the day, which will be quite interesting. So let me know what other words you would use and how you would use it. The one things I would say is disability isn't an excuse. It isn't a label to be physically violent to people. It isn't a way to be avoidant of troubles, and it's not a way to suppress things that are undealt with. So you can also look very much at the other side of the coin, which I think would be a whole new conversation. So anyway, have fun. See you later.